Good evening. Tonight's story begins on a quiet road in rural Kentucky, where an old house waits for anyone foolish enough to enter. A house that feeds on memory, on time itself. This is the house on Hollow Creek Road. Emma Williams was 27, a traveling photographer chasing forgotten places across America. Old diners, abandoned gas stations, rusted barns. She loved capturing decay. One autumn afternoon, her car broke down near Hollow Creek Road, a backcountry stretch surrounded by woods, with no signal and daylight fading. She walked until she found it, an old Victorian house standing, alone at the end of a gravel drive. It was enormous, 3 stories tall, paint peeling, windows boarded but not fully shut. The porch sagged like tired shoulders. Emma thought it perfect for her project. She stepped inside. The air smelled of damp wood and rot. Her flashlight revealed faded wallpaper, broken furniture, and family photos warped by moisture. In the parlor, she noticed something odd. A photograph on the wall showed a young woman. Same hair, same eyes. It looked exactly like her. Emma laughed nervously. Coincidence, she thought. But as she explored further, more photos appeared. In the hallway, a picture of her with a husband and 2 children. In the dining room, another of her much older, gray-haired, sitting with grandchildren. Her hands shook. The faces around her were strangers. Upstairs, she entered a nursery. The cradle rocked slowly, though the air was still. A soft lullaby played from nowhere, notes drifting like cobwebs. She spun, ready to run, but the hallway behind her stretched longer than before, lined with doors that hadn't been there. One door stood open. Inside, a mirror waited. Emma stepped closer. Her reflection was wrong. It showed her much older, wrinkled, tired, hair streaked with gray. And behind the reflection, the house was alive, walls breathing, shadows crawling. Her reflection whispered, "You came home?" Panicking, Emma ran. She bolted down the stairs, through hallways that twisted in impossible ways. Every window looked out into endless night, though outside it had been late afternoon. She found the front door, yanked it open. Behind it was not the yard, only another hallway lined with more photos of her life. Each one older, each one showing people she never knew, but who stared at her with hollow eyes. The walls groaned. The photos began to move. In each frame, Emma turned her head, slowly, to look directly at her. She screamed, sprinting into the kitchen. The smell of rot was unbearable. On the table lay a birthday cake with 40 candles. A photo beside it showed her at 40, smiling with a family that wasn't hers. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. Hands trembling, she pulled it out. The screen showed dozens of photos in her gallery she had never taken. Birthdays, weddings, funerals. Her entire life photographed inside this house. The latest image uploaded by itself. Emma, standing in the kitchen, phone in hand, mouth open in a silent scream. She dropped the phone and stumbled into the basement. It was lined with shelves of dusty albums. She opened one. Inside were hundreds of photos, every one of her face, at every age, many far older than she had ever been. At the back of the album, the final photo showed her body lying lifeless on the basement floor. The house trembled, lights flickering. She tried to run upstairs, but the steps crumbled beneath her feet. The basement door slammed shut. The last thing she heard was the lullaby again, closer now as shadows crawled over her. The next morning, her broken-down car was found on Hollow Creek Road. The house wasn't there. Locals said it had been torn down 50 years ago. But at night, travelers sometimes saw lights in the woods, and if they dared to follow them, they never came back. That was tonight's story. The house on Hollow Creek Road. What's more terrifying? Finding a house that shows you your future, or realizing you'll never leave it.